Shalom to the nation of Israel, starting off with the hopeful elect. First and foremost, before I get into my lesson, I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that teach in that Ruel today, and peace and salutation also to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry and the believers that scattered worldwide, truth and sincerity, day in and day out. Once again, I'm the brother Shaquat Gabar coming at you with another quick lesson. And right before I get into this lesson, this message, all these videos goes out to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which we are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, according to the Bible, and also to the Israelite foreigners that scattered amongst the heathen nations and that may take on the physical appearance or look of another nation. But if your bloodline goes back to Negro, Latino, or Native American descent by the seed of your father, you are considered an Israelite as well. So basically, hold on, give me a minute. All right, Salat. Like I say, basically, the lesson going to be, as you can see, I have this article queued up on the screen off of CBS News, okay, recent news, okay, when it comes to the whole situation with Venezuela, okay, and the former president being captured, okay, Maduro, okay. Hey, when it comes to, for the past couple of months, here in the States, and when this whole, government official on the Trump administration, okay, they always been targeting Venezuela, okay. If we know about years ago, okay, Venezuela been, dealing with economies or financial woes, okay, when it comes to the dollar, okay, dealing with food shortages, okay, famine, okay. And now recently you just had Trump, attack him, okay, blowing up or dropping airstrikes or bombs on certain ships or boats over there in Venezuela. Say that the cause of drug trafficking. Okay, but we know the true intentions when it comes to this American government. Okay, on the Trump rulership. Okay, when it comes to these Edomites, the biblical Edomites, the so-called white race that's ruling today. Okay, we know their true intention is to take over their resources when it comes to Venezuela. Okay, mainly their oil. Okay, that's why you're seeing now, America moving towards, bringing war against Venezuela. Okay, and being territorial, okay, or territory, okay, to take over Venezuela. Okay, which we know a lot of those Venezuelans, okay, are Israelites. Okay, when it comes to the Northern Kingdom, okay, when it comes to Asher, okay, which are the Brazilians today, okay, and also other tribes such as Natali, okay, other tribes over there in the Central America or South America, okay, when it comes to Venezuela, okay, so we just see a lot of propaganda is going on, and now we starting to see now they use the news, the media when it comes to the American news, okay, painting the image of Venezuela being the bad guys, being the villains, okay, and the latest as well over here in America, okay, certain immigrants of Somali, okay, painting the image of them, okay, which they are, when it comes to a lot of these Somalians, they are heathens, okay, the sons of Ham, okay, but you got Israelites scattered amongst all nations, okay, but the whole point of the lesson is that Esau and Edom ain't gonna be satisfied till they trying to establish the NWO. They want total control over all nations, okay, when it comes to their resources, man, okay. We'll see how ever since, Maduro has been captured, okay, which he most likely been a puppet, okay, that didn't do the bidding of these elites, Okay, when it comes to the regime, now they want to remove them. Okay, and put up a new president in his place to do the bidding of, starting with these elites of Esau, Edom, on down to the less illuminated ones of Americans, uh, government officials. Okay, but it's always been Esau, Edom, um, MO. Okay, when it comes to them taking over lands by the way of the blessing of their sword, man. And this time coming at the time of the military might. Okay, as they seizing more and more lands, man. Okay, and the perfect example is the history of how the Edomites enslaved and had the blood conquered this land by the way of the bloodshed and the enslavement of the Negro, Latinos, and the Native Americans when it comes to this place, America. Okay, we know that the shameful history of that. Okay, and they always been on the offense when it comes to war, ever since the existence of America. Okay, from 1776 to now, which we are entering into the time of the 250 years ruling here in 2026. Okay, and most of the time, as you look up, certain resources, most of the time, America, ever since their existence, they always been on the offense when it comes to war, man. Okay, but now we're coming to the point of all these nations ready to come against America. Okay, starting with the Russians. Okay, the Chinese, the Arabs. Okay, which a lot of these countries are ditching the dollar. Okay, and Venezuela being one, alliance themselves with the BRICS nations. Okay, when it comes to the digital, well, I say the financial format, which is gonna be digital. Okay, when it comes to the RFID micro, eventually being implemented as the dollar being obsolete, and all nations are moving towards a cashless society. But when it comes to Venezuela, okay, um, about a year and a half, I know they decided to join forces with the BRIC nations. Okay, when it comes to Russia, okay, and China format of a new currency. Okay, you can look up the BRIC nations. Okay, BRICS. Okay, the acronym BRICS. Okay, meaning Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Okay, yeah, so now you starting to see these countries dealing, not dealing with the dollar, and we seeing America, as always, being on the war path. Okay, to invade these other countries. Okay, a economic hitman. Okay, when it comes to these elites and their regimes, setting up their policies, their democracy, and using America, okay, as their force, okay, to invade. Okay, and say a lot of propaganda is going on, and they're gonna spin it when it comes to their media, the American media. Okay, the control the narrative. Okay, that in this case, the Venezuelan uh, president. Okay, it's a villain, terrorism, a drug lord. Okay, in all actuality, um, when it comes to this government here in America, okay, we know they really want to seize the resources of Venezuela, starting with their oil, man. Okay, so now you got Madero, okay, being in court here in America, in New York, him and his wife. Okay, to see what the sentence, or I see other sources saying that he pled not guilty. Okay, they just I guess, want to remove him and put in a new president to do the betting of these elites of Esau, and to be more on siding with America. But like I say, this is CBS News, and it says, Trump says U.S. is in charge of Venezuela. Maduro jail in New York after U.S. military operation. Okay, so all this gonna lead to more uproars of the people. okay, civil unrest, okay, the Third World War, okay, because they say that for them to do an invasion on Venezuela, okay, America, and under Trump, okay, they went through Congress, okay, and they violate the international laws, man. Okay, now you got Trump saying that Greenland or Greenland is next. Okay, I believe what Greenland is a part of NATO. Okay, when it comes to NATO and the EU, Trump told us he want to make Greenland okay subject unto America. And you got certain NATO members okay saying that if Trump decide to make a invasion or attack on Greenland, okay, that's going to break the alliance of NATO. Okay, when it comes to the European countries and America. Okay, so we in the time now of great division amongst these Edomites, man. Okay, and it says what to know about the U.S. military attack on Venezuela. Former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife were captured and brought to the U.S. They will appear in a federal court at noon on Monday, according to a spokesman from the U.S. District Court in Southern District of New York. Okay, yeah, so you seeing how everything moving towards um, America under Trump, okay, administration, moving towards more of a dictatorship, man. Okay, and more of a being bully. Okay, when it comes to America being bully, right along with those small hats or the tiny tops. Okay, or the state of Israel being involved, man. Okay, because that's who America take their orders from. Okay, when it comes to these tiny tops of the elites. Okay, now keep it like that. President Trump said in Saturday press conference that the U.S. will run Venezuela temporarily during the transition and get the oil flowing. And it's the same old thing, man. Okay, you're looking back into the Iraq War. Okay, they paint the image of who that was on Saddam Hussein. Okay, the president at that time, which he was an insider and was doing the bidding of America, but he went against the grain. Okay, and they would execute him. Okay, but their whole purpose was to go into Iraq to take their oil, their resources. Okay, Afghanistan. Okay, when it comes to during that time. Okay, the poppy fields. Okay, up on the uh, uh, um when they had captured under Barack Obama, president. Uh, who was it? They had his face painted all over America's social media or news during that time. Dang, the president of Afghanistan or the prime minister, um, Bin Laden. Okay, now trying to keep it, cordial or simple. Okay, due to the algorithm. Okay, but we know about the whole Afghanistan war. Okay, the Iraqi war, the Vietnam war. Okay, all type of wars that America caused to paint the image of these other countries being terrorism. Okay, but the whole purpose is invading these other countries is to take their resources, man. Okay, under the elites. Let's see, Secretary of State um Marco Rubio signaled on Sunday the U.S. doesn't plan to directly govern Venezuela, but will continue to enforce an oil quarantine as part of their plan to influence policy. Yeah, so that's just another step to totally control those resources, mainly the oil. Okay, especially when it comes to the dollar, because we know that the dollar is backed up by the oil, okay, or crude oil. Okay, that's why another way saying the dollar is the crude dollar. Okay, so they want to get more and more oil, okay, to push, their dollar, because the dollar is coming to the point of being more and more declining and weakening. That's why you're seeing this place experiencing inflation, soon to be hyperinflation, prices going up, job losses, okay, due to the dollar declining, okay. Maduro and his wife landed in New York on Saturday, hours after being captured during a U.S. military operation in in Caucasus, okay, Caucasus, well, however you say it. They are being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn and will face federal charges related to drug trafficking and working with gangs. Hey, see, that's the cover up, man. Okay, it's all about drug trafficking and working with gangs. Okay, the decided as terrorism organization. Organization, which Maduro denies. Okay, because the front is the drug trafficking when it comes to the cartel. Which we know America and these elites, the CIA, the FBI. Okay, all of them got their hands into the cartel and drug traffickers, man. Okay, but that's just the front. What they really want to go into Venezuela, okay, to get the resources of the oil, man. Okay, cause they say it here. Okay, the oil quarantine. Okay, so it ain't really about no drug trafficking, man. Okay, it is more of having a foothold in the Venezuela when it comes to their oil. Um, you can see more and more, you know, because I ain't want to make this video too long. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into the scriptures. Okay, hold on, give me a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into the scriptures, and I'm gonna start off with Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. It says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. It is going to Esau Edom, okay, which is known as the wicked." Okay, starting with these elites, these central bankers, on down to the lesser luminary ones, and the average American Edomite or Edomite that worldwide. Okay, the Edomites, man. Okay, they are known as the wicked according to Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. Okay, and they trying to force the NWO, starting with these elites. Okay, and the lesser luminary ones, man. Not these average American Edomites or peons amongst them. Okay, because they don't give a damn about their own American Edomite counterparts. Okay, or the average Edomite. Okay, as they're trying to force the NWO. And it says, "But the just shall live by his faith." And then the just went into the nation of Israel, start with the elect. Okay, the 144,000 and the 1/3. Okay, they're destined to be saved once Yahweh shall return. Okay, at the peak of the Third World War, which this place America gonna be destroyed by the way of thermonuclear fire and the chariots bringing fire. Okay, what the world call UFOs, which are known as the chariots or the vehicles or the angels. Okay, or the salvation of the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay, and that's going to issue in the downfall of Esau Edom. Okay, and also leading to Yahweh Shai second coming, bringing in the kingdom of Israel. Okay, starting with the elect. Okay, and you see the nations going to go into captivity up on us, man. Okay, starting with the elites of Esau Edom, that's going to escape the damnation of the missiles, as they're going to be in their retreats or reserved for captivity. Okay, and they're going to build our land up, the land of the kingdom of Israel. Okay, which is going to be here on the earth. Okay, in our land. Okay, which the land of Israel is going to be destroyed by fire, because the people that's over there are not the original inheritors. Okay, and that land going to be cleansed just for us to rightfully own our land again under the rule of Yahweh Shemel Shai, and it's going to be built up by these heathens, starting with the elites of Esau Edom. Okay, but America, once this place be destroyed, it's never going to be built again. Okay, by nations. It's going to become a desert and an amalgamate of wickedness or what not to do. Okay, and only things that's going to inhabit this place is desert-like creatures. But verse 5, it says, yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarge his desire as hell and as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heap unto him all people. And that's the point. Okay, Esau Edom ain't never satisfied, man. Okay, here he in rulership. Okay, but through their greed, okay, they constantly invading these other countries, man. Okay, economic hit, man. Okay, or sending their military forces. Okay, start with America, NATO, okay, the EU, always invading these other countries, bombing these other countries, due to them want their resources, man, and the constantly oppress, okay, the people, okay, and they come in the form of democracy, okay, politics, okay, coming in the form of peace, okay, God destroy terrorism, okay, but in all actuality, Esau Edom the real terrorism, man. Okay, that's why these nations ready to come against this place, America. Okay, and to come against the small hats, the state of Israel, man. Okay, so he never satisfied, man. Okay, and at this point now, as they trying to gain all the resources of the earth, okay, when it comes to these other countries by invading them, okay, they want to establish the NWO. Okay, you got heathen nations that's in league with them. Okay, but the head is Esau Edom. Okay, when it comes to the agendas. Okay, and those that go against it, yeah, they're gonna bring the sword amongst them. Okay, hey, wait till all hell break loose here in America, man. Okay, let's get this. Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they're going to Esau Edom. Okay, their bed represent their comfortability as we in their rulership. Okay, so they set up different psyops or agendas or events, okay, and back it up by law, okay, strict legislations, okay, and enforce the sword, okay, on these other nations, okay, on people, man. Okay, now they ain't even worrying about the laws now. Okay, like I said earlier, man, attacking Venezuela. Okay, they said that was a violation of the international law. Okay, yeah, so every day, okay, they have their agenda as they practice it, okay, and back it up, by strict legislations or forcing strict legislations and come with the sword, man. Okay, mainly they swore, okay, to invade other countries. And they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his inheritance. Esau always been known for that, man. Okay? And the scripture said they can't even sleep without doing it. Okay? So they always got their think tank, their agenda, okay, constantly, day in and day out. Okay, as they trying to force the NWO. Okay? And it's only gonna get worse from here and out. Okay, when it comes to 2026, man. Okay? Proverbs chapter 4, verse 16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they have caused some to fall. For they eat the bread, for they eat the bread of the wickedness and drink the wine of violence. And that's what Esau Edom known for. Okay, once again, they known to be the wicked according to the scriptures. Okay, and their blessing is the sword. Okay, to bring violence to these other countries. Okay, and primary, number one, the Negro, Latino, Native Americans. Okay, they want to constantly keep us oppressed, man. Okay, that's Psalms the 83rd chapter. Okay, but Lord gonna be a defense, okay, for the nation of Israel, starting with the elect. Okay, but they can't even sleep, man. Okay, without them doing wickedness. Okay, or causing violence here on the earth, man. Okay, that's why Yahweh Shai gotta come back and take Esau Edom out of power, man. Because according to Matthew chapter 24, verse 22, if the Lord doesn't come back and shorten the time or the days for the elect's sake, no flesh gonna be saved, man. Esau Edom, beside the sword, ready to come with his AI technology, more surveillance, biometric, transhumanism. Okay, that's all centered around the RFID micro. Okay, according to Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, the new digital system they want to implement. Okay, buying and selling. That's why you hear the talks now of universal basic income. Okay, real ID, digital real ID, digital wallet, smart cities. Okay, and I keep it like that. Hey, but how about Shema Shah come back to disappoint all that, man? Okay, this is John chapter 10, verse 10. And this is a red letter going into Yahweh Shai speaking these words. The thief come not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. And that's Esau Edom. Okay, I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. Hey, so when Yahweh Shai return, he's come back to liberate the nation of Israel, starting with the elect. Okay, here in America and worldwide, according to Matthew the 24th chapter, verses 29 through 31. But the thief, Esau Edom, okay, the Lord's about to come back and take Esau Edom and these heathens out of power. Okay, matter of fact, let's get this and I'll get ready to close. Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying road going to the chariot. Okay, Zechariah saw a chariot, okay, a so-called UFO, or the vehicles of the angels, and how Yahweh Shai returning to bring war against these heathen nations. Okay, Revelation chapter 19 and 11, 2 Ezra chapter 13 and 1, going to the return of Yahweh Shai, bringing war against these nations at the peak of the Third World War, in particular Esau Edom, to take them out of power, especially to the destruction of this place, America. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying road. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. Okay, the chariot. Okay. Then said unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and especially Esau Edom when it comes to America, known for their theft, their robbery, their murders, okay, and justifying it by the way they swore, okay, or they legislations, okay. And like I said, example, in this case, Venezuela, okay, like I said, the majority of those Venezuelans are Israelites, okay, even though they might have puppets amongst those Central and South Americans, okay, which a lot of them are Edomites or Tears, doing the bidding of Esau Edom, okay, but majority of the citizens are Hebrew Israelites, man, of the northern kingdom, okay. And it says, For every one that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and every one that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. Okay, because one point in time, here in America, they say the Bible is the law of the land. Okay, and they swear in on the Bible. Okay, when it comes to these government officials, starting with their presidents. Okay, but they doesn't uphold the law, statutes, commandments. They contrary. Okay, that's why the Lord gonna bring destruction upon America itself as well, for many reasons. Okay, and the downfall of Esau Edom. And it says, verse 4, I will bring forth, say the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. Okay, America. Okay, because America was stolen. Okay, in the enslavement or the bloodshed of the Negro, Latino, Native Americans in the slavery by the hands of Esau Edom. Okay, and these heathen nations have been partaken of it as well. Okay, so this place, America, gonna get the worst of the great destruction of the judgment of Yahweh Shah by the way of the missiles and the chariots. Okay, the chariots enter into the house of the thief, and right along with those missiles, and unto the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. So the Lord gonna completely destroy this place, man. okay, America, okay, and it's getting closer and closer to this place destruction as America making more and more enemies, okay, and nations ready to turn on this place, man, okay, all these nations, okay, that's gonna lead to this place destruction, starting with the Russians, okay, and those that got nuclear capability, that Lord gonna allow those missiles to be launched and destroy this place, man, okay, just for the purpose of Yahweh Bashim Shah. And the only ones that's going to be delivered is the elect, the 144,000 and one third that's destined to be saved. Okay? Because 2/3 of our people at the time going to be cut off and judged, man. According to Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8, due to their wickedness, due to their non-repentance or non-belief. Okay? So the Lord only concerned about the elect at this time. Okay, also the hopeful elect. Okay, so 2026, more and more brewing, okay, towards the year, Lord willing, that this be the time, okay, of this place downfall and the destruction, in the time of our salvation, man. Okay, also the hopeful elect, in the return of our Lord Yahweh Shah and Mashiach, to take down all rules and put them subject upon us. Start with the Edomites, man. Okay, and Yahweh Shah ruling over these heathen nations, and us, the nation of Israel, start with the hopeful elect being joint heirs. So I'm gonna go ahead, end this lesson, and I pray that the lesson will edify. Till next time, Lord willing. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.